think that looks good. All right. I'm a couple minutes late because the iPad is dead. I have it plugged in, but I find with iPads that when they're like dead, they take so long to like, you have to leave them plugged in for a while before they'll even let you like turn them on, let alone like actually be able to like use them. So I have the iPad. It was sitting in front of me, plugged in and charging, but it's still taking a while to wake up. I can't blame it. That is exactly how I am in the mornings. You know, I'm waking up, but I just kind of have to lay there. And I heard a term on TikTok recently, for those of you that are maybe not morning people like me, where you wake up and you can't just like get up and get out of bed. You just kind of have to lay there, and it's called defrosting time. Like, oh yeah, like you pull me out of the freezer, but you have to let me defrost a little bit before I'm ready to go and ready for the day. So I call it my defrosting time now. And I've been joking with my husband that that's my thing, is that like, sure, like I wake up at this time, and then I just need to kind of lay in bed for like 10-15 minutes and like not even on my phone the whole time. Like a lot of the times I'll literally just like lay there and just like keep my eyes closed or like keep snuggling with my body pillow or whatever. It is what it is. Good morning, Belinda. Hello, thank you. Okay, give another minute or so. I was like 2 or 3 minutes late, but we'll give everyone another minute or so to get logged in. Oh, I see the iPad is finally showing signs of life, but I do have another device. I have a spare phone from the store that I can use in the meantime until the iPad is well rested enough. It is at 1% battery, so we're gonna let her continue to nap a little bit. I am just gonna wake it up so that it can start charging, and it'll be logged in when I need it. There we go. We're gonna let her continue to nap a little bit. I wish I was napping right now. I love naps. I don't know, that's something that was like, did not understand as a kid and as a teenager. I'm like, who would nap? That's so weird. And then in university, my roommate, who was also my best friend in my first year, she was a big napper. And I didn't really get it in my first year and second year of university. And then third year came around, and I'm like, okay, maybe these actually aren't too bad. And then in fourth year, I was a nap queen. And now as an adult, I love naps. I nap probably 3 or 4 days a week. My favorite thing is when I work from home, I'll actually take a nap on my lunch break, and it's the best. Good morning, Caroline. Hello. I guess good afternoon to you. Good morning to me. Okay, I think we're at a good place to start. I've been yapping about napping, but I think we are ready. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle. I am the 3X model here at Lavender and Lace Boutique. I typically wear a 3X top and bottom. I have been wearing an 18W in Judy Blues lately, occasionally sizing up to a size 20W, but I've been pretty comfortable in 18s lately. Numerically, from other stores, I'm like a 20 to 22, depending on the store and the garment. And then for height reference, I am 6'1", so I am a very tall person. So I will kind of talk about length and stuff. Jeans tend to be short on me. That's just my lot in life. Sleeves are sometimes short on me, so I kind of talk about that and how it relates to me as I can. So with that, we might as well get started with the daily drops, starting with this sweater that I've been hanging out in for a few minutes now, and I absolutely adore it. If you watched my live last week, you might recognize this one. I did a little sneak peek of it with that really gorgeous like cream colored Dex pleated skirt that launched on Saturday, and I just loved the combo. I thought it was so gorgeous to pair something so delicate and frilly with something a little bit more chunky and oversized like this. But with that, let's get into this sweater because I absolutely love it. So this is the Checky knit sweater in camel. This one's going to be retailing for $79, and this one comes in a great size range. It is available in sizes small through 3X, and that includes both an extra large and a 1X for this one. This one does have a very like oversized fit, and because of that, you can definitely size down if you prefer it to be a little bit more fitted or just a little bit less of that like super cozy oversized vibe. So Christine and Carrie both took the small in this one. Melissa opted for the extra large as opposed to the 1X for this one, and I am currently wearing the 3X. I could definitely size down to a 2X if I didn't want it to be quite so oversized, but I actually really like how it looks with the really oversized vibe on me, so I stuck with my usual 3X for this one. The thing that I really like about it is that it does still have a little bit more taper with the, so if I pull it all the way down, it's like tunic length, even on me. Like I'd be able to get away with wearing this with leggings, like not quite a dress, but definitely tunic length even on me. But I like that it still comes around, it is tighter around the band, so you can kind of like tuck it up and do like the faux tuck like bubble vibe. This is something that I've really been into lately. Kind of getting that little like poof vibe, and so that's the biggest reason why I still like the 3X. This is also how I styled it with the Dex skirt, is I did that and I kind of took it up a lot higher to get like a really emphasized poof, and then had the really fun pleated skirt coming down from under it. But there is definitely a lot of extra room, and I would very comfortably be able to size down to a 2X if I wanted it to be more. I feel like it would still even give a little bit of that relaxed fit, even if I was in the 2X as well, but I do like how oversized this one is on me. If we turn around, we can see that the checkered pattern is restricted to the sleeves, and then the front of the sweater, the back is just cream. But the little hints of the glitter, I don't know how well they're picking up on camera. I hope it's picking up on camera, but I can definitely see it in like the mirror behind me with the lighting. Okay, you can definitely see it if I stand back here. As you move, there's just these really nice, they're almost like, some of them are kind of clearish and some of them are just like really gentle, just tiny, tiny silver sequins. And they're just sprinkled throughout the garment. They're not like crazy covered in sequins. So it's just like the tiniest little bit of glitz. It's almost like, it reminds me of when you get like hoarfrost, and you know that kind of snow that makes the hoarfrost, where it just kind of like looks like glitter falling from the sky. That's what this sweater reminds me of, and that glitter is all the way through the back of the sweater as well, even without the checkered. So just really pretty. I like that it's giving like wintry holiday Christmas, but it's a lot more subtle, and I do think that being the checkered print, checker print, and like racing flag, like that's really big right now. It started like, that's like, I heard someone say that what millennials were to chevron back in like the early 2010s is what Gen Z is to checker print, and I feel like that's now leaking its way into more mainstream fashion instead of just like Gen Z fashion specifically. And so I think because this is a more modern fun print, it does make it a little more like universal season wise. So again, this is the Checky knit sweater in camel. $79 for this one, sizes small through 3X, and that includes both an extra large and a 1X. True to size, but it is like a very like chunky, relaxed fit. So if you want it to be a little bit less oversized, you can size down for this one. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, I am definitely a fan of this one. I haven't gone through the entire week yet, but I think this is honestly like probably my favorite piece of the week. I am a fan. I mean, I picked it out last week off my rack to show as like a sneak peek. I loved it so much. Yeah, so everyone took their true size or size down. So it kind of depends. If you want the full relaxed fit like me, go with your true size. If you want it to be a little bit less oversized, you can opt for a size down for this one. And then we can show off the jeans that I am wearing. These are, of course, from Judy Blue. These are the high-rise light wash fray hem slims, aka the Grady's. These ones are going to be retailing for $99, and they come in the full Judy size range of 0 through 15, and then 14W to 24W for these ones. Everyone took their typical Judy size for the most part. Christine is between the 1 and the 3. She opted for the 1. Carrie is between the 7 and the 9 and opted for the 9. Carrie typically wears the 14, or sorry, Melissa typically wears the 14, and she took her usual 14. And then I'm typically an 18 to 20, and I'm wearing the 18 in these ones. So this is an example of what I was mentioning earlier, where things tend to be a little bit shorter on me. That is definitely the case with these jeans. These are not a crop jean, they are just cropped on me. I don't have the inseam information on me, but I think these are, I'm gonna guess just by looking at them that these are probably like a 29, maybe a 30 if you count that little like part on the edge of the seam sticking down there, if you can see, but on me they're definitely more of an ankle jean. That is just how jeans fit me. Other than that, these fit really, really nicely. As we can see, they have this later wash, and they still have the whiskering and the fading on the front of the thigh. My favorite thing about these jeans is that we have this like darker contrast right down the seam. It's like, it almost looks like they just like kind of like took the jean and like cut a strip in it and then put the seam section of another pair of jeans. It's really cool. And it continues all the way down to where we have the frayed hem. I'm hoping you guys can see that. And then there is actually like where this middle part is, it extends about a centimeter longer than the rest of the denim, so that it's just like even more accentuated, that it looks like it's a different kind of denim. And then if I turn around to the back, we can see that not quite as much fading and whiskering as the front of the jean, but still a little bit of fading on the back pockets. And then for physical distressing, there is none other than the frayed hem. And then of course, I guess if we can consider this like insert of the other colored denim, I guess that would be a distressing as well, but the only like, there's no like rips or like faded parts or anything like that. It is all just concentrated to the frayed hem at the bottom there. But yeah, these ones are cute. I like them a lot. I think they're fun, and I think they would be really cute. Like again, all season long, because I feel like with the really interesting hem, they'd be really cute to wear with sandals or like a low shoe. But I also still think with this going all the way up the leg, they'd be really fun tucked into boots as well. So again, these are the Grady's, or the Judy Blue High Rise Light Wash Fray Hem Slims. These ones are going to be $99, sizes 0 through 24W, and we all went with our typical Judy Blue sizes for these ones. Okay, I have 2 more tops. Oh, and I also have a pair of Blowfish booties. I don't have these in my size to be able to try on, but I can at least show them off. These are going to be launching with the Daily Drop today as well. These are from Blowfish. Why Blowfish? That'd be quite the boot brand. These are the Riley booties in tan. They're going to be retailing for $99, and they are available in sizes 6 through 11 with half sizes 6.5, 7.5, and 8.5. I love Blowfish because they're one of the few brands that actually does cater to an 11, which is my typical shoe size. Really, I'm like a 10.5, but nobody makes a 10.5, so I am relegated to 11s. These are just a really gorgeous ankle bootie. They have just a low heel on them, but if you've ever worn a pair of Blowfish shoes, you know that even if they have a heel, they're still so comfortable. They don't feel like you're wearing a heel. These aren't going to give you that arch ache throughout the day because they are really supportive. And then I think the best part about these boots, I didn't realize it until I picked them up, but they actually have this like kind of faux fur, like fuzzy lining to them. So they're going to be really nice and warm. These are going to feel really nice on the feet. They're going to help you keep a little bit warmer. I just want to keep like doing this because as soon as I picked it up, I'm like, ooh, that's going to feel so nice, especially if, I really like having boots that have a liner like this if I'm wearing tights in the winter, because I hate putting on a sock over top of tights because then it like bunches up in the toe and I just hate it. But I find that the like foot of the tights is often not enough to be like a sock within a boot, and so you get really uncomfortable and you get like your toes rubbing or something if you're wearing tights without socks. So when you have a lining like this, I find that these are really nice boots. These kinds of boots are really nice to wear when you have tights on in the winter and you don't want to wear like a sock over the tights. So just something to consider as a bonus for those. So again, those were the Riley booties in tan, $99 in sizes 6 through 11 with 6.5, 7.5, and 8.5 available as well. Okay, so I have a blouse and another sweatshirt. Let's start with the blouse. I'm gonna go put that one on. It's really chilly up here right now. I find that like upstairs when we do our photos and stuff, it gets pretty warm when there's like 3 or 4 of us up here like doing photos and stuff. Plus it's like, it's more of a workout, I think, than people realize to sit here and like change clothes back and forth for like 2 hours. And you warm up pretty good. But because we weren't doing photos today was just a live day for me. It was pretty chilly when I got here. It still is pretty chilly. So putting that sweater on was really nice. And now that I have to take it off, I'm like, oh no, I'm cold again. But that's okay. I'm sure as I keep moving through my live, I'm gonna warm up a bit. The worst is that I have bare feet on like the floor, but I find just like leaving socks on while I'm like changing pants and stuff kind of is a pain in the butt. So yeah. Oh, I hope so too, Reen. Yeah, I think because they probably only had 1 or 2 pairs put up for the Monday Night Live like shop along. But yeah, they look gorgeous. So I also hope you get a 7 for those, Rain, for sure. The pillow looks like a Highland cow. I'm not sure. Do you know what? It kind of does. I mean, it is pink. It looks a little bit more like orangey brown in this, but like texture wise, actually not totally dissimilar. I grew up on a farm with cattle, not Highlands. I would love Highland cows, but that would be like adorable if you had a little pillow like that and had like little horns on it. That'd be so cute. Cute. Okay, so anyways, let's get to this blouse. So this is from Dex. This is the Alba blouse in copper. This one's going to be retailing for $70, and it is available in the full Dex size range. So extra small to extra large, and then X, 1X, and 2X. So everyone took their typical Dex sizes in these. So Christina's in the small, or sorry, the extra small. Carrie is in the medium. Melissa is in the 1X large, and then I am wearing the 2X large for this one. I think this is one where if you are bigger in the bust, you might want to consider sizing up. I'm going to guess that's why Melissa went with the 1X as opposed to the X, whereas I am still fine in the 2X with this one. Melissa proportionally has a much bigger bust than I do. So I do find that sometimes with Dex, she will size up, whereas I don't have to because I don't have as much to accommodate for up here. So I am in the 2X. I do think it does fit pretty well. I would say that I'm kind of right at the limit of where the shoulders would be. I do have broad shoulders, but if your shoulders are any more broad than mine, I think you might be a little bit limited here. And then for the sleeve length, I'm actually really happy because I often struggle with Dex sleeves being a little bit too short, but as you can see, these ones, even when I extend my arms, they're still staying at my wrists. I guess you can't see this one because my arms are out of frame, the whole arm, but the sleeves are long enough on this top, which is something that I do appreciate, but I can tell that the shoulders are like right at their limit. So, but again, I am broad shouldered. It's probably pretty unlikely that you're going to have broader shoulders than I do, so it's probably still going to be fine. If I turn to the side here, we can see that the top is a little bit shorter on the top, and then it gets kind of at the hip, it starts to swing down, and then it doesn't continue down. It is kind of like straight from the hip around the back, but it is just like a little bit shorter in the front. If I get up close, you can see that there is just like the subtlest little bit of patterning here. It's giving like animal print pattern is what I would say. But it is quite subtle. Like when I was standing back here, you can tell there's like a texture or something, but you can't really tell what the print is until you're like up close, which is fun. So the material in this one, I'll look it up. It doesn't quite feel silky. I would say if anything, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, like that blousey polyester material, if that makes sense. And it's not really shiny either. If I get up close, we can see that it's quite like a matte, plain kind of woven finish. And then the there's almost like a sateen or like eggshell finish, if that makes sense, on the animal print parts themselves. But they're not super, super shiny, but they do have just like a tiny bit more shine compared to the base of the material. The material, I'm gonna guess it's a poly spandex blend, or it might be, oh, it's viscose, okay. So it is 100% viscose, but yeah, it doesn't feel satiny. If anything, I would say it feels more like, I don't even want to say linen because it's not quite, it doesn't feel like a natural fiber the way that linen does, but it's like a blousey material. I wish I had a better like description for it, Barb. Yeah, and then I'll do a quick turn around to the side. And then for the buttons, these are all functioning buttons. So I have it buttoned up pretty high, but you could button it all the way up if you wanted to. I don't think it would close around my neck. I don't think it would fit around my neck, but if you have a smaller neck than me or less broad shoulders, you could. But you could unbutton it another one if you wanted. You can unbutton it all the way down if you wanted to and have it kind of open to show off like a cool necklace or like a cute tank top underneath or something. So these are all fully functional buttons on the front here too. So again, this is the Alba blouse in a copper from Dex. This one's going to be retailing for $70. Sizes extra small through 2X large, so the entire full Dex range, and we all took our usual Dex sizes for this one. If you are larger in the chest, you may want to consider sizing up for this one. Okay, and I have one more sweatshirt that is part of today's daily drop. This one's really cute, so I'm excited about this one too. This one's so adorable. Okay, so this is the Evelyn embossed sweatshirt in coffee. This one is going to be retailing for $69 and is available in sizes small through 3X. This one is an extra large with no 1X. So extra large, then 2X, then 3X. For this one, everyone wears their typical size. So Christina's in the small, Carrie in the medium, Melissa wears the extra large, and I am in the 3X for this one. And this one is 50% cotton, 50% polyester. So this one is called the embossed sweatshirt because that is what is going on here. These letters are embossed, they're not embroidered. So I have to get up close just to show how cool it is that it's got this like really cool 3D texture. You do see a little bit of like where the embossed stamp was, there's like a little bit of like a straight line around the edges. I do think that will probably soften up a bit as it gets washed and worn. But this is definitely like very solid. It's not gonna be going anywhere. So it does say coffee time across the front, which is adorable. Every time is coffee time for me. And then my favorite part is the sleeves. We have this really cute little like espresso or cappuccino cup embossed. There's 3 of them on each sleeve going up. And like I love the little cappuccino cup that they chose because it definitely reminds me of like the Central Perk logo a little bit. It's not like you wouldn't see this and immediately think like, oh, that's the Central Perk logo, but because of just the way it's a little cappuccino cup, it definitely like reminds me of that a little bit. And then if we turn around to the back, there is no embossing or anything on the back, but it is just a really nice, comfy sweatshirt all the way around. And again, because it is 50% cotton, it feels really soft and cozy. And then it is your classic like fuzzy kind of like fleecy interior. So again, this is going to be like a really warm, like snuggly kind of shirt. And then the material, yes, it is really soft on the outside because it is that 50% cotton blend. Like it's not soft on the part where it's embossed just because of the process that they use to emboss it. But then once you get like off of the letters, everywhere else is really nice and soft. It's not fuzzy, but it is just soft. Like it's not stiff or crunchy or scratchy or anything like that. It is really nice, Tracy, for this one. Oh, absolutely, Stephanie. Like I love coffee. I drink multiple coffees a day. In our house, it's funny because like I like coffee, but my husband is like a true coffee snob. We don't have a normal way to make coffee in our house. The closest thing to normal is that I have a Nespresso machine. Actually, I have 2 Nespressos. I have the traditional Nespresso with the little pods, and then I also have a Vertuo, which is the one that uses the bigger pods and can make more than just like espressos. It can make like the full size coffees. And the reason I specifically like Nespresso is because they have the aluminum packaging, and like I'm an environmental scientist, for those that don't know. I feel like you can't get a Bachelor of Science in environmental science without turning into a little bit of a tree hugger. So I am not a fan of Keurigs just because I don't like the single-use packaging and how much plastic is associated with this. I used to have a Keurig and I ended up giving it to a friend because I just didn't like the single-use plastics, and I know you could get the little baskets for them so that you can use ground coffee, but I found that they just didn't taste as good. And I do like the convenience of like the pods, and so having the aluminum pods of the Nespresso was a good choice for me because they do have a recycling program for those, and they do recycle them just like they recycle aluminum cans. So that is why I have an Nespresso. That is the most normal way to make coffee. Then we also have like an actual espresso machine. Like it is actually like a commercial grade one that my husband inherited from his, he inherited it from his dad. His dad's not passed away. It's just he gave it to him because he has a small apartment, so we didn't have room for it. So we have like an actual like espresso machine with like the industrial steamer wind and everything. And then we have pour over coffee in one of those like glass things. It's not a Chemex, but it's similar to that. And it's got like the paper filters, and it takes like 10 minutes to like drip through. And like, yeah, so like unless it's an espresso where you're waiting at least 10 minutes to get a cup of coffee in my house, but it's always really good coffee. So that's fun. 32 ounces of coffee a day. It's probably not good. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. I don't think I'm quite that. Some days actually I probably am. I used to be into the energy drinks as well. I've cut back a lot on those. But still definitely lots of coffee for sure. So yeah, clearly I'm not the only one with a major coffee addiction. So we're not alone in loving this. And I love that the color of it is definitely like very like coffee as well. So once again, this is the Evelyn and Boss sweatshirt in coffee. $69 for this one. Sizes small through 3X. We all wore our typical sizes for this one. It is a little bit oversized, but not so much that we would recommend sizing down for this guy. Okay, so that's everything for the daily drop today. So we had the 2 sweaters, the blouse, the boots, and these jeans. So all of that is going to be going live at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I remembered still, Mountain Standard Time, we're good. Yeah. And then for tonight, I don't have the full list of everything, but we do have a kitsch launch going tonight. And so I have a few little sneak peeks. Christine will be showing these in full detail in her Luncheon Style at 12:30, but I'll just show a few cute things. I love kitsch stuff. Actually, the hair scrunchie I'm wearing right now is one of the kitsch satin scrunchies. I bought these not even from Lavender and Lace before I was ever working here or anything. I was already into the kitsch scrunchies, so then when I started working here and I realized that we stock them occasionally, I was very excited because they are absolutely my favorite scrunchie. And because without my extensions, my hair is so much thinner, they're like thin scrunchies, I feel like are the only scrunchies that still work for my hair and give me a secure hold ponytail without having to wrap it like 800 times. So big fan if you're like me and you have, I have a lot of hair, but it's very fine. And then I also, because I have the, I do the undercut, that obviously takes out a chunk of my hair. So if you do have finer hair, the kitsch, like the smaller satin scrunchies are chef's kiss. They're fantastic. You know what, Stephanie, you're absolutely right. I tell myself that all the time. It's like coffee. I mean, it could be cocaine, and it's coffee. If I can drive to McDonald's and buy it, it can't be that bad. If I can go to Starbucks and buy it, it can't be that bad, right? Yeah, absolutely. Come to my house for coffee. It's so funny you say that because every time my parents come to visit, that's always my mom's thing. Is like, oh, David needs to make me, David, that's my husband. She's like, David needs to make me a coffee because it's fancy. It's like a Starbucks coffee. And I'm like, okay, yes, David can make you a fancy coffee. It's fantastic. We also have all the like syrups so we can make like flavored lattes and stuff. So yeah, like really it is like, my husband actually, when he was in university, he used to work at Starbucks. So like he has the full barista training. So wow, we really, like, clearly we're all just love coffee because we're getting totally sidetracked. But yeah, so anyways, I love the kitsch scrunchies. I don't know if we have any, I just have a few little samplers of things that we have. So we have these super adorable little barrettes. Are these barrettes or bobby pins? I think they are, oh, they're bobby pins. Well, clips, but these are gorgeous, especially for holidays, but because they're just like yellow gold with, they're not actually yellow gold, but because they're just gold with the, like the clear stones, you definitely be able to wear them like anytime when you want a little bit of bling in your hair, but definitely also some cute ice for the holidays. And then we also have a shower cap. Adorable. I love that it's got like the tie in the front. I find that those ones stay so much more secure. And then we have the quick dry hair towel turban. I have one of these as well, and I don't use it as much now, but when I had my extensions, because with extensions, at least the kind that I had, you can't like leave them wet too long because there's so much extra hair at your scalp. It'll retain moisture and they could actually get like mildew in your hair, like ugh. So you have to like actually blow dry your hair. But I just like, when it was so wet, again, because I have such fine hair, when I blow dry my natural hair, it takes like 10 minutes tops, like less than usually. And so I was getting so frustrated having to blow dry all of the extension hair. So what I would do is I would grab this and I would put the cap on, especially, and I'd kind of let the ends stay out, but for my extensions, because it was all like concentrated around the center of my head, near the roots, I would leave this on and just kind of like sit for half an hour so that it could get a lot of that moisture out. So then when I went to blow dry my hair, a lot of that moisture was already gone and it was so much easier to blow dry my extensions, and I didn't feel like my arm was going to fall off by the time I was done. So also have one of these, highly recommend, especially like I said, if you have extensions or just a lot of hair you have to blow dry. If you do this first and then blow dry, it just makes life a lot easier. Like I would just like pop this on and then read a couple chapters in my book and then go blow dry my hair after, and it was great. So yeah, so that'll be tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time that we're going to have a little kitsch launch happening. There is more products, and again, Christine will show off everything in her Luncheon Style at 12:30. Okay, let me go on to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 20th. What do I have for the 20th? The jacket. Okay, so the only piece that, I'm just going to double check, I think the only piece that I have that's launching tomorrow is a denim jacket, which I think might not work over a big chunky sweatshirt. So I'm going to see if I have anything else that makes more sense to style it with. Not really. So do you know what? Sure, we'll test it out. It is a Judy Blue denim jacket, so it probably would, because it's the 3X that I have here, it probably will fit over a sweatshirt. So for those that don't know, for Judy Blue denim jackets, I can wear either the 2X or the 3X. It depends on how I want to layer them and style them. So if I want to wear them over things like hoodies or sweaters or long sleeve shirts, I will opt for the 3X just so that I have a bit more room in the arms and stuff to accommodate for the bulk. But if I plan on wearing it over like dresses or t-shirts or tank tops and not layering it over thicker pieces, I will opt for the 2X. So, oh yeah, no, that actually works just fine. So this is exactly what I mean. This is the 3X, and so like, as you can see, I have enough extra room in the arms and the shoulders that I can wear it over like a very oversized sweatshirt and still accommodate very easily. So this is the Judy Blue mid-length jacket in black, aka the Gregor. This one's gonna be retailing for $124, and this one is in sizes small through 3X. So 4 sizes. We all take our typical size. So Christine in the small, Carrie in the medium, and then Melissa is in the 1X. And then again, myself in the 3X, but like I mentioned, if I want to layer it over things that are less bulky, I can also wear the 2X. I own both personally. I have a black one, not totally dissimilar from this one. I think it just has a little bit more like light gray fading, a little more distressing on it, but it's the same cut and everything. I own that in a 3X personally because I do wear that one over hoodies. And then I own a lilac purple one in 2X because that one I prefer to layer over like dresses and things like that. So as we can see, it is like, it's described as a mid-length just because it's not fully cropped, but it's not coming all the way down to the natural hip either. It is kind of hitting, like, my natural waist is right here, so it's hitting just below my natural waist. But other than that, it definitely is very true to the typical Judy Blue jacket. It's kind of got that pocket with those panels under the pocket in the same spot. The collar feels very familiar. The way the shoulders are cut is very familiar, and even the way the back is. It also has the, where can I see it? The little button on the side here. I don't believe I can't tell if there's another buttonhole though. So this is more so just for decoration, but if you did want to be able to tighten it along the button, you could theoretically install another button here, and then you'd be able to use that flap to adjust the button, and then you can kind of get it to cinch around the waist a little bit tighter and give it more of like that bomber jacket shape and style with the denim jacket. I have that on one of my Levi's jackets. I added a couple of buttons custom so that I can do that with that, and it is really nice to be able to like adjust like how much you want it to come in on the bottom. So again, this is the Judy Blue mid-length jacket in black, aka the Gregor. 124 for this one, sizes small through 3X, and we all took our typical sizes. I'm currently wearing the 3X so that I can layer it over a sweater. If I was layering it over t-shirts or dresses, I would opt for the 2X for this one. Okay, so that was the only thing for the Wednesday daily drop. I'm gonna double check the Dex PM launch. Yes, I do have Dex PM. So let me just, I think it's in the wrong spot though. I think it needs to come over here. Yes. There we go. Yes, so for Dex, I have, what comes in plus? We've got a cardigan and we've got a cowl neck top. So I will leave the jeans that I'm wearing on and I will switch into those pieces and be right back. These are, well, the cardigan can be styled however you want, but the cowl neck top is definitely a little bit more on the dressy side, so probably not something I would typically style with jeans, but because all I have for the next little bit on my rack is jeans, that'll have to do. Oh, actually, I might, so the next day, I'm assuming will be Thursday, I do have a pair of corduroy joggers from Judy. I think those could look kind of cool actually, so maybe I'll style it with those instead. Okay, yeah, that's fun. I like that. Then we'll throw on the cardigan and talk about that first. Okay, so now I have both of the Dex pieces on. So we'll start with the cardigan. This is the Dex I Was Made for Lovin' You cardigan in light gray melange. This one could be retailing for $90. It is available in the full Dex size range, so extra small up to 2X with both extra large and X and a 1X in there. And for this one, we all wore our typical Dex sizes. So Christine is in the extra small, Carrie's in the medium, Melissa is wearing the 1X, and I am wearing the 2X for this one. I love the length on this one. It is long enough that it is definitely like long on everybody. Obviously, with me being tall, it's not going to be quite as long on me as it is on someone who's more petite, but the fact that this cardigan is still below my knee and is hitting almost mid-calf on me is really exciting, because for me to get any kind of like upper garment that's not a dress that hits that long on me is very rare, and I'm very excited. The sleeve length is also really nice on this one. I find that it is not, again, I find Dex is occasionally something I struggle with in sleeve length, and we can see that even with my arms extended, this is still well beyond my wrist, which is great. For this one, it has kind of like a robe neck, if that makes sense. It honestly feels just like a bougie, like luxurious robe that is publicly acceptable to wear out. So it does have like this piece that's kind of like a collar, but there's no like defined folds or anything like that. And then it kind of just like rolls into the front of it, so that it does have this like this edge here, but just the way that it is cut, it does want to kind of like roll in and kind of give this like illusion that there is a collar here, which I think is really pretty. And then we do have the knit cuffs on the sleeve, and then on the bottom of the cardigan, it's kind of hard to tell, I'll bring it up, we do have the knit pattern towards the bottom as well. And then if I turn it, we can see that we do have these pockets, and these are actually like super deep pockets. They're knit pockets too, so they feel really interesting when you stick your hands in them, because it's like, kind of feels like you're wearing a mitten, because they're like knit pockets, and they're quite stretchy too, but they are surprisingly deep. Like you could definitely easily put a phone in here, no problem for this pocket. And then, yeah, as we can see, we've got the little slit up the side, no slit in the back, but there is a slit in both sides, which makes it nice and free moving for this one. Turning into my grandmother all about the cardies. I mean, I totally get it though. Like our grandmothers were onto something, because this just like I said, it's like wearing a robe, but publicly acceptable, because it looks adorable, but it feels like I'm wearing the most comfy, cozy bathrobe, but I look like bougie and elegant. I definitely think, like, especially if you paired this with like a thin little belt with a gold buckle, this would look just absolutely divine and super elegant. But again, feels like you're wearing the most comfy thing ever. So again, this is the Dex I Was Made for Lovin' You cardigan in light gray melange. $90 for this one, and it's in the full Dex size range of extra small to extra large, and then X, 1X, and 2X for the plus sizes. Okay, I'm gonna put this one back. I feel a snag on my nail, so I always keep like a buffing block for my nails in my purse, because it always seems like I can go every other day of the week with nothing happen with my nails. As soon as I come to the boutique, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna make some weird little snag happen on your nail, and you're gonna catch it on clothes, but of course they're not my clothes because I'm just trying on everything. So I always try to make sure that I've got like a buffing block with me so I can file my nail if anything like that happens, because I would feel really awful if I ended up accidentally like snagging something that wasn't mine. And then usually like I would notice, and then we'd be able to like pull it aside and either see if we can repair it or end up like putting it in the as is sale or something like that. But if nobody noticed it, I would feel awful if someone ended up like getting a piece that I'd worn that I had accidentally like snagged my nail on it, and it was like, oh well, great. So yeah, so I always try to make sure I have that on hand for times like right now. Okay, so this is the Just Like Fire cowl neck top in Coal Sheen. This one is going to be retailing for $65, and this one is also available in the full deck size range of extra small to extra large, and then X, 1X, and 2X for this one. So this one, everyone else also wore their typical deck sizes. So Christina's in the small, Carrie's in the medium, Melissa took the 1X, and I am in the 2X for this one. This one is a little bit more of a slim fit top. I didn't fully tuck it into the joggers just because I wanted to be able to pull it down and show the length and everything. But I would definitely, for this top, especially in this outfit, I would definitely tuck it fully into the joggers because it is a little bit more along the skin. It's not tight fitting, like it doesn't feel like a tight bodysuit, but it is definitely very like svelte and slinky, and it does sit closer to the skin. And then of course it does have the kind of like swoop, or the not bagginess, but like the hang and the free flow of the cowl neck. This is another one where I would say, like, in terms of the shoulders, I'm kind of right at the limit. I would appreciate personally a little bit more room in the shoulders, just so that the cowl neck hung a little bit more freely on me. But again, I have very broad shoulders, so so that is something there, and I feel like very few of you will have broader shoulders than I do, so that's probably going to be something that fits other folks better. But because of how broad-shouldered I am, I do feel like the cowl is getting pulled a little bit more, and I would like it to be a little bit more drapey. That's the word I was trying to think of. But to be honest, if this did come in a 3X, I probably would prefer the 3X just for that reason. But I do find that the body of the top fits otherwise nicely. The sleeves are pretty nice. They're maybe a tiny bit short. When I stretch out my arms, you can see that my wrist bones are starting to, I guess you can't because of the way I'm standing, but my wrist bones are just kind of starting to show up. But again, 6'1", long arms, that is definitely something that's going to happen to me. The length on this is a pretty standard length. It's kind of hitting right at my natural hip. It's not cropped, but it's not long either. And I think because of that length, it's going to be really nice to tuck into high-waisted pants or skirts or something like that. And I think it is going to be pretty easy to wear that way. And then I'll get up close so we can see that it's it almost looks like velour. It's not though. I don't know how to describe this fabric. I know I had a dress made of this fabric when I was younger, but it's not quite silky, but it still has that sheen, and it's got like a lot of stretch to it as well. I do think it is polyester. I'm gonna double check. Oh, I don't actually have the material on this one, so I cannot tell you that, but yeah, so it doesn't feel silky, but it's also not itchy. Like it is like a stretch knit fabric, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, this is the Dex Just Like Fire coal neck top in Coal Sheen. $65 for this one. The full Dex size range of extra small up through 2X, and we all wore our typical Dex sizes for this one. Okay, so that's everything for the Dex drop on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So let me move on to Thursday. So I have the joggers that I'm wearing currently, and then there's also 2 other tops that I will be able to wear on Thursday. So let's start with the joggers while I'm here, just because this is kind of a slinkier top. I'll be able to just pull it up, and then we'll be able to see them fully, and we might as well talk about these first, actually. No, I liked the show, but when does the coffee shirt? The coffee shirt is Wednesday. Sorry, no, today, Tuesday. So that's going to be at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight. Darn it, I did it. 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time today. So 1 p.m. Alberta time is when the coffee sweatshirt is going on sale. That one is part of today's daily drop. No problem for being late. Okay. So these are the Judy Blue high-rise corduroy cuffed joggers in emerald, aka the Ruperts. These ones are going to be retailing for $99, and these ones are available in almost the entire Judy size range. So we have them from 0 to 15 and then 14 to 22W. So we don't have the 24s, but we do have all of the other sizes. For these ones, I believe we all took our typical size. Yes, so Christina's in the 3, Carrie is in the 9, Melissa's in the 14, and then I am in my usual 18 for these ones. I will say they fit very similarly to the other Judy joggers, but maybe just a little bit less stretchy in the waist compared to others. There are some where I'm in the 18 and I could almost size down to a 16. These I definitely would not be able to size down to a 16. These ones like are a true 18 fit on me. They do look very dark in the camera and they look almost black, but in person you can definitely tell that they are like a rich emerald green. They are a very like deep toned green though. Like they're not like a forest green. They are absolutely like a very rich emerald. And then other than that, again, it's hard because of the way that corduroy just like absorbs the light. You can't get any of the shadows and stuff, so it's going to be hard to show you the details, but they are structured very similarly to other Judy Blue joggers we've released recently. So they do have the square pockets in the front, so they kind of come down and then straight across, kind of like the Carpenter style pockets. They do have the drawstring, which I'm not sure how much you can see. Okay, if I step a little bit forward, we can definitely see the drawstring. They've got the square pocket, and then they do have the rolled cuff at the bottom. Again, they're shorter on me, but that is just my lot in life, and you can unroll them to get them a little bit more length as well. And then just a typical back pocket shape on these ones. There's no other kind of details or distressing because the corduroy on its own is definitely very standout. I love, these are very Christmas, but could definitely work like all winter because they are just a really rich jewel tone. They're not like specifically like a Christmas green to me. They are more just kind of like a rich jewel tone green. So I think you're going to be able to wear these all winter, not just in the Christmas season. And they are very, very comfy. Right, Wendy? I love the color of these ones. I am obsessed with emerald green. It's one of my like favorite colors in terms of how it complements my skin, and I try to incorporate emerald green into my work wardrobe a lot. And again, not just because I'm an environmental scientist and I'm like a green, but like I do like wearing green. So again, these are the high-rise corduroy cuffed jogger in emerald, aka the Ruperts from Judy Blue. These ones are going to be retailing for $99, and they are available in 0 through 22W for these ones, and we all took our typical Judy sizes for these ones. So a reminder, these are on Thursday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then I have 3 more pieces actually. I've got 2 tops and I have a like an overshirt. So we'll do the sweater and then we can do the overshirt and the t-shirt after that. Okay, so this sweater is from POL, and this is the Peaceful Balloon Sleeve Sweater in cream. This one is available in 3 sizes, which is typical from POL, small, medium, and large, and it's going to be retailing for $99. As is tradition with POL, they do fit pretty generously, so Christina and Carrie both wear the small, and myself and Melissa are both in the large for this guy. So this one is described as the balloon sleeve because as you can see when I put my sides out, there is a cuff at the wrist, but there is like kind of a big poof before the sweater kind of terminates into the cuff at the wrist. So it does give kind of a poofy effect. I do think it's a little less dramatic on me because I am like sizing down from like a 3X to a large. And because this sweater fits a little bit less oversized on me, it fits kind of more how you'd expect a typical sweater to fit. It's slightly cropped on me. It's not super, super short, but it is definitely a little bit of a cropped fit on me. But I do think that because the sweater itself is not as voluminous on me, the effect of the balloon sleeve is less dramatic on me. It kind of just looks like a bunchy sleeve, but it is still a fun effect nonetheless. I'll also get up close so we can see the really cute pattern on the sweater. So the peace sign here is knit. It's not just like a fabric layer. It is like a knit that is done over it. And then we have the floral, and it's almost like a quilted pattern. If you get really close up, you can see there's some like stitching details in the floral that it's almost like quilted itself. So that's just a fun little like extra layer of like cute details, and POL is so good at that. Isn't it like a good set together, Wendy? Especially like for me personally, because the sweater fits a little bit more cropped. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. But because the sweater is a little bit more cropped on me, it kind of hits like just above the line of the pants, and I think that it's just like I like where that hits and accentuates like right on my natural waist. But I totally agree. It is a very cute outfit. They go together super well. I'll spin around to the back. There's no like appliques or anything on the back, but we do have this really cute like big seam that runs down the back just to give it a little more detail. So again, this is the Peaceful Balloon Sleeve Sweater in cream, small, medium, and large in this one. Carrie and Christine both wear the small, myself and Melissa both wear the large. More like a butter. It is like, I wouldn't describe it as like a full-on yellow. I think butter is honestly the perfect way to describe it because it is leaning more yellow than a typical cream, but I wouldn't go as far as to call it yellow. So I think you nailed it, Paige, like saying it's like butter colored. This is absolutely like butter colored, 100%, because you're right. It is definitely a little bit more yellow and a little bit darker than like a typical cream, but I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like a buttercup yellow. So I think you nailed it on the head perfectly. Okay, 2 more pieces for the Thursday launch, and they are also super, super cute. They're definitely leaning into this like green theme for this entire launch, which is great. Again, as someone who wears a lot of green, it definitely works for me. Oh, and I've got some buttons to undo. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got a t-shirt and then like an overshirt for this part of the outfit. Tuck that a little aggressively. We can probably... There we go. That's a little bit better. And then we'll get that flipped around so it's normal. There. Okay, let's start with the overshirt for sure. This is the Frankie oversized tinsel shirt in taupe. This one is from Risen. I believe we had a shirt like this launch in another color a couple weeks ago. I want to say it was like a denim blue, like a light denim powdery kind of blue, but I don't quite remember. But yeah, this is the Frankie oversized tinsel shirt in taupe from Risen, who is definitely my favorite brand that we have at GB right now. I've been amazed, like a huge fan of everything they've put out, especially in the plus size range. Like, they're nailing it. So this one is available in sizes small through 3X, and that includes both an extra large and a 1X, which I really like. So for this one, we all wear our typical size. So Christine in the small, Carrie takes the medium, Melissa takes the 1X large, and then I am in the 3X for this one. And then the material is 100% tencel. I won't lie, I don't really know what tencel is. The way that I say it, it's like a lighter, softer denim. If any anyone's a sewer or a fabric expert in the comments, you can let me know if that is even a little bit on par, but that's definitely how it feels to me. It's like the weave looks very much like denim. It's got that kind of like diagonal pattern to it. It is not picking up on camera very well at all, but it does have that kind of like directionality diagonal that denim does, but it's much softer. It almost feels like a natural fiber. I have no idea if it is or not, but I'm not good with fabrics. You need to ask my husband. He's learning to sew and he's much better with that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I'm in the 3X, and I definitely, it's described as being oversized, but I would say that it's like a little, but I wouldn't say it's like a super relaxed fit. Definitely not enough to warrant sizing down. I would definitely still go with your true size. If I'm not going to button it up just because these are all fully functioning buttons, but like with my nails, that is going to take us way too long, but I definitely would be able to button it up fully, and I'm still going to have a little bit of flow in the fabric, but it's not going to be like a super oversized shirt. I definitely prefer to wear it kind of more like a shacket or something like that. I would leave it open like this. I would also definitely probably do the whole like tie front like I would with a flannel. Basically, I would style this like a flannel. It just isn't flannel. It's Tencel. But I do think it is a really fun casual layering piece. It's a really nice length too. We have the swoopy on the side, and there's a lot of really good length in the back. For most folks, this is going to be long enough to cover your butt. Again, not for me because I am so tall, but that is a me thing. But yeah, this one, it's like super nice, high quality fabric. There is a little bit of stretch to it, but not a ton. And it feels like it's going to be a really nice, durable fabric as well. So again, this is the Frankie oversized Tencel shirt in taupe. $84 for this one, sizes small through 3X, and that includes both an extra large and a 1X, and we all wore our typical size for this one. Okay, and then I have the t-shirt that I'm wearing underneath. I'm going to go hang up the Tencel shirt. This t-shirt, this is the Viva V-neck t-shirt. We have had, I think, probably almost half a dozen of these now. We've had at least 3 or 4 in different colors launching over the last couple of weeks. I know we had 2 launch last week. I think we had a navy and a, oh, I don't remember the other color we had last week. And now we have the spruce, as I'm wearing now. So these ones are going to be retailing for $44, and they are available in sizes small through 2X. But I find that with this brand, their plus sizes seem to be cut pretty generously. So the 2X, this is the brand Mito Shop is what they're called. The 2X honestly fits like a true 3X for me. So I'm in the 2X, and you can see it's still like a more relaxed fit t-shirt on me. So I would say that the 1X and the 2X fit more like I feel like the 1X fits more like a 2X, and the 2X fits more like a 3X. So Christine wears the small, Carrie's in the medium, Melissa takes the extra large, again because the 1X fits more like a 2X, she actually wears the extra large, not the 1X. And then I am in the 2X for this one. Again, it's super, I've mentioned this before with these t-shirts, but they are super soft. This one is like it was like a gray one last week, and for whatever reason the gray one was super soft, and then the blue one was also soft but not quite as soft. This one is like in between. It's softer than the blue one was, but not quite as like angel soft as the gray one was. I don't know what was in that gray one. It must have been like weaved from like the love of a mother or something like that. I don't know. It was incredible. But this one is still definitely very soft. It has the same details as the others. Obviously we have the V-neck. We have the cute little pocket on the chest here. We do have a longer sleeve, and they do have the little cuff detailing on the sleeves. And then if I step to the side, we can see they are quite a nice long length. They cover even my booty in the back, and they are a little bit longer, well actually quite a bit longer in the back than in the front, with quite a dramatic swoopy on the side. Awesome basic t-shirts. This one is probably coming home with me because I absolutely adore this color. Like I said, I love these like emeralds and spruce, like these deep jewel tone greens. Suit my skin tone really well. I love this one, so probably gonna pick this one up. So again, this is the Viva V-neck tee in spruce, $44, sizes small through 2X. We all wear our typical sizes, but for the plus sizes, you can size down one. Like a 2X from this brand fits like a true 3X in my opinion for this one. Okay, so that was everything for the Thursday daily drop, our very green themed drop. And then for Thursday evening, I don't believe I have anything. Looks like we have a Chocolicious restock coming on Thursday, so that's delicious with like it looks like, oh yeah, there's like hot chocolate stirs, there's holiday licorice. So we're having like licorice and Christmas Chocolicious coming. So that's delicious and exciting. Okay, so with that, we can move on to Friday. I have a pair of pants for Friday. And I believe that's it. We still don't have any ampersand launches. We are waiting for the holiday stock from ampersand. So oh, perfect. I'm glad I'm wearing this shirt, and you're gonna see why in a second when I put on these pants. This is my accidental cosplay that I did for photos last week when I wore this specific t-shirt with this specific pair of pants. And it definitely brought me a lot of joy. Oh my god, I love this so much. So I wore this combo when I was doing photos last week, and I looked down at myself as I was getting ready to like pose for my photo, and I look at Jason, I'm like, I look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo right now. And he just laughed. He's like, yep, you sure do. So this was my accidental cosplay of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, who I loved as a kid. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I had the weirdest like crushes as a child. Like, my childhood like cartoon crushes were so weird, because you'd think that like most girls who were attracted to men would be like, oh, Freddy, because Freddy's the handsome one. No, I liked Shaggy. I liked the scrawny one who just liked to eat food. So I don't know what that says about me, but I had a big crush on Shaggy from Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. And not even like new versions, like the classic like Hanna-Barbera, like old Scooby-Doo cartoons is what I was watching, and that was like, yep, that guy. I don't know what it is, but 7-year-old me, I like it. But anyways, my Shaggy pants here. These are the Risen Jeans High-Rise Espresso Classic Skinnies, aka the Fernandos. These ones are going to be retailing for $97, and they're available in sizes 0 through 15 for the straight sizes, and then for plus we have 1X, 2X, and 3X. I am wearing my usual 3X for these ones. Christine takes the 7. She's usually a 5, and Carrie takes the 11. She's usually a 9 to an 11 in the Risen jeans. So you probably want to, if you're between sizes, you want to go up with your bigger Risen size for the plus size. And then, for the straight sizes, and then for plus sizes, I would say your usual true to size. So Melissa is in the 1X and I am in the 3X, and that is our regular sizes for Risen jeans for this one. The biggest thing I want to point out with these jeans, I'm not sure why, but they don't have real front pockets. They are faux front pockets. I'm not sure if you noticed when I was like talking, I was trying to like put my hand here and nothing was happening. The toonie pocket, as I call it, this one's real. You can put your quarter for the grocery store card in here. That one's gonna be fine. But the actual like front pockets, they are faux front pockets. And if we turn around to the back, we do have fully functional rear pockets on these ones. So they are this really interesting like warm espresso color. Like, I feel like, again, they're very like 70s coded in the coloring for these ones. And they are a skinny fit. I would describe them as more of a slim fit. They're not as like fitted through the calf as like what I consider most skinny jeans, but they are definitely very much like a slim fit. And then lengthwise on me, these ones are obviously a little bit too short, but again, I have like a 35-inch inseam, so most jeans are. I would say these are probably like a 28 to 29-inch inseam. I don't have the number, but that would be my best educated guess for these ones. So again, these are the Risen Jeans High-Rise Espresso Classic Skinnies, aka Fernando. $97 for these ones, 0 through 15 on the straight sizes, and 1X, 2X, and 3X for the plus sizes. And for Melissa and myself, we both took our usual size for the plus sizes, and for Carrie and Christine, they both opted to size up one from their typical Risen size. So for the straight sizes, you might want to consider sizing up. Okay, that is everything that I have from the Friday drop. But I do believe we have a Saturday drop. So I'm going to quickly check that. I think we have a couple of really cute, comfy tops from Shirley. Yes, we do. Okay, so on Saturday, we do have the Terra V-neck tops from Shirley launching. I have two colors here. We have, I think, 5 colors total launching, but I'll put on one of them and then show the other color that I have here. Okay, so again, these are the Terra V-neck tops. So I am currently wearing the olive, which actually, I feel like this is even more shaggy coated. I feel like this green is even more shaggy from Scooby-Doo coated. Apparently that's just my fate for today, is I'm going to be Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I need to go find some Scooby snacks and a Great Dane to go hang out with. Yeah, so this one is going to be, I have this price as $39 in here, that seems right. And it is going to be available in sizes extra small through 4X, which is amazing. I love that. I'm currently wearing the 3X. I would say very similar sizing to the way that the pajamas fit on me. So if I want more of like a loose, relaxed feel, I would definitely go with the 3X. That's what I'm wearing now. If I wanted it to be a little bit less relaxed and less like comfy and flowy, I could definitely size down to the 2X for a little bit more of a close fit. But the way that I'm going to style this top, I would definitely prefer my 3X. The other thing I really like is with the 3X is that I have a good sleeve length, because this top has the little thummy holes that I absolutely adore on a lot of hoodies. And like my ampersands that have this, I adore this. So having this on something without a hood is kind of novel to me. Usually it's on something that's like a hoodie or a jacket. So to have it on just like a sweatshirt is really, really fun. So yeah, so again, we have extra small through 4X, and I believe we all take our usual size. Yeah, so Christine in the small, Carrie's in the medium, Melissa opts for the extra large, and I'm wearing the 3X. If I wanted it to be a little bit less relaxed fit, I could size down, but because of the intended like kind of comfy cozy vibe, I still wear my usual 3X for these ones. So I have the black here as well, and I'm wearing the olive, and then we have 3 other colors coming. We're gonna have gray, which is more of like a gunmetal gray. It's kind of, based on the picture I can see, it's kind of like, or like a slate gray, like it's a more blue-based gray and kind of like a medium dark tone. We have maroon, and then we also have mauve. So those are the 5 colors that we're going to be having, and all 5 of those colors are going to be coming in the entire size range. So all of the colors will be available for $39, and they'll all be available in the full size range. So again, these are from Shirley. They are the Terra V-neck tops. And oh, and one last thing I wanted to mention is that they are incredibly soft. I'm not sure if you can see the like fleeciness on them, but they remind me very much of the Ampersand Performance Fleece. Which are, if you know, is really soft, really cozy, but it's not like a heavy fleece. It's still very wearable day to day without feeling like you're melting. I don't think it's the exact same fabric, but it's definitely very much a soul sister of the Performance Fleece fabric, is what the fabric on these shirts reminds me of. So if you know me, you know how I live and breathe anything Performance Fleece. So that should tell you how I feel about this launch. So anyways, that is everything for me today. Once again, my name is Michelle. I am the 3X model here at Lavender and Lace Boutique. I typically wear a 3X top and bottom or an 18W in Judy Blues. I go live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to go through all of the plus size or plus size adjacent clothes that are launching for the week. So if that's something that you want to check out, you can find me here next week on Tuesday at the same time, same place here that you found me, and I'll be doing it all again. So thanks for those that joined me. Bye.